dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano Boarding and Day School.
And everyone watching our social lesson, our social video lesson, welcome to our lesson. We shall be looking at the government, and by extent we shall be looking at the functions of the government. I think most of you right here where we live in Somaliland, we know we have the government, and our government has the president as the head of the government. And that means that government is all about a person or people who are leading, who are heading a country. For example, even in our school, whenever you are in school, you have your leaders, you have the management, you have the head teacher, you have teachers, and you have prefects. Now, that means that right away from the management, the head teacher and the teachers and the prefects, all of them have to be respected. They have a role that they play. They have their own functions. What do? Like, for example, we know even the prefects, they help the class to maintain law and order. They help the class to be in an orderly manner. They help teachers. Whenever the teacher is absent, the class prefect will come and stand in. The class prefect can collect books. The class prefect can ask other students to keep quiet, to behave in an orderly manner. The same way, we have the government in Somaliland. We have the government in every country of the Horn of Africa. Talk about Ethiopia, there is a government. Talk about Djibouti, there is a government. Talk about Eritrea, there is a government. Talk about Somalia and even Kenya, and the same to South Sudan. Now, what is government? If you are asked to define what government is, what is government? Government, as we shall be looking at in our lesson today, is just but a group of people who govern or who rule a country. A group of people or individuals who rule a country. Now, the same way here, government means people with authority to rule a country. People with authority. That means that there is some power given to them to be in charge. Like the way a teacher comes in class and says, this will be the prefect, or maybe Abdirahman will be the prefect. What does it mean? That Abdirahman is in charge. He is now heading the other students. So the same way, the government rules a country. To rule meaning that it actually ensures that people follow the rules of that country. It provides, government provides some various services that we shall be looking at, the functions of the government. Now, here, it in fact takes us to what we are supposed to discuss. What are the main functions of the government? The main functions of the government. Now, functions are like duties or work. So when talk about duties or the work of the government, what does the government do? Here, the government ensures that there is peace and stability in a country. There is peace and stability. People live in peace. Whenever there is peace, there will be development. People will not steal. People will not kill each other. There will be total respect to the authority. People will respect their neighbors. Now, the government ensures that there is peace. Anybody who tries to destroy the peace that has been kept by the government, sometimes they'll have to arrest them. Now, the government also protects the country's borders from attack by foreign countries. For example, in Somaliland, we have our borders, the borders of Somaliland. It means that these borders here, and we saw that borders are boundaries that are separating one country from another. Now, the government ensures that those borders are protected. If you don't protect the borders, what happens? Neighboring countries or enemies might sneak in and attack the people. So the government has to ensure that the borders are secure. The borders are well protected by the army by the soldiers so that no enemy comes in. And also, the government provides various services to the people. For example, look at around where we are, the water, the healthcare, education, all those services are provided for by the government. So the government ensures that people enjoy also their rights. People get access to medical care. People get access to education. People are living a standard life, and that is the role or the function of the government. Moving ahead, we shall also look at another role of the government. The government makes laws to protect people's rights. All the laws, for example, one law can say that do not steal, do not kill. You see, all those laws, there will be a penalty. That if you steal, you'll be jailed. If you steal, you'll be maybe hanged to death. So those laws ensure that people live in peace and stability. It ensures that people respect their neighbors. People have respect for other people's property. Here, the government also provides services, like we've said initially, like education and health. And E, as you can see, the government or any government of any country also prints money to be used by the people in the country to pay for various services. Now, talk about printing money. Every country has a responsibility to ensure that there is enough money that may be used to buy or to purchase goods, various goods that are used at home to make life easy. The only way to make life easy is by ensuring that you have all the basic needs, and these basic needs are usually bought, some of them, like if you look at clothing, if you look at housing, you see all of them, and even food. And in order to buy them, you need money. So where will you get the money? The government ensures that there is at least enough money. How does it do that? By printing. Government has got enough printing machines. It may outsource or it may contract some people, some companies to print money, which will be used by people to purchase various goods. Good. Next, here, we are looking at something else, which is now the different forms of government. Different forms of government. Some people already, some of you, talked about dictator, so-and-so was a dictator. I think when some of you looked at the history of Somalia and Somaliland combined together when they had one unity in 1960, when they had gotten independence, there was that unification. They had a government. But later, when President Siad Barre took power, people say that he was a dictator. So his government, people say that he was a dictator. Yes, that means that that is also a form of government. Now, when we talk about forms of government, we shall be looking at how various leaders are either chosen or how they come to rule people. In Somaliland, for example, we have president. Our president, Musa Bihi. Was he chosen by people, or did he come from nowhere and he came to the office? He was chosen by people. Good. Now, a government where people are chosen or where leaders are chosen by people is a democratic. We also call it a republic. Republic, you know, public means people. And therefore, a republic means a government which has been chosen by people. We have other governments that have not been chosen by people. Some governments, like we have the family members who are ruling. When one family member dies, another family member takes place. When one king dies, maybe the daughter or the son takes place. Such a government, we shall also be looking at it. Now, if you look at here, one form of government is monarchy. Monarchy is a form of government or a country that is headed by a king, queen, or emperor or empress. When the leader dies, power is passed on to the children or another family member of the monarch. For example, the UK is a monarch, is actually practicing monarchy because it's headed by the Queen. Then another one, we have democratic government or republic, just like in Somaliland, where now the government is chosen by the people. So people choose their leaders and the top officers. The rulers or leaders do not hold power for life because people have to choose others. The people in democratic country have the power to choose other leaders. And like we have said, Somaliland is a democratic country. Good. We have now a federal government, which is our last one. Here, a federal government is where power is shared between the central government and smaller government units. In Ethiopia, for example, there is federal government, which is now in charge of the whole country, but it has shared power with 9 other states, 9 other units. Now, these 9 units will report to the central government, the federal government. Good. Now, class, we've just said that we have 3 types of governments. We have looked at the monarchy, we have looked at a republic, and federal governments. Those 3 types of governments are important. And we also, in our lesson today, have looked at what government is, a group of people that rule a given country. Now, next time when we meet, we shall be looking at the branches of government, how government works. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time.